That's right. It's a brand new year, 2018, the year of the Jedi. I don't really know if that's true or not, but here we are, the NPR edition of Whatcha Watchin. I'm the Rev, and with me tonight, as usual, is Reno from his side of the cornfield. And we are talking about Star Wars, The Last Jedi. No, I don't really intend it to be the NPR edition, but unfortunately, my voice is still blown out from my 2.5-week illness through the holidays, so I'm going to give it a roar the best that I can. Sorry, ladies, I'm not up to par tonight, but not sure that that's what they're always here for. Hey, over there on the other side of that wall there, that's the guy. Yeah, see, they don't know that we're not in the same studio. That's the funny part about it.
Wait, there are actually people that think we're together in person?
Well, back, really, aren't we? I mean, they really don't even know that you're not literally sitting on the other side of my table. Back in the day, that's how this stuff was done. Why wouldn't it be done the same way today? You kind of are sitting on the other side of my table through the glass, through the internet, through the cloud, back through the internet.
Through the magical internet looking glass.
That's right, Alex. The magical internet looking glass. You are on the other side of my desk.
And I am here to say all your fan theories are wrong.
All of your fan theories are wrong. That's right.
Especially stars.
We are talking about The Last Jedi tonight, but that's not where we're going to start out. So let's see if YouTube can screw up my screen tonight. Wow, apparently it did not. It's time for a little bit of trailer trash talk. Yeah, so my boy here sent me Slender Man. I watched it. Kind of a little, it wasn't really all that memorable. I don't remember much about it at the moment. Why has my daughter disappeared? People just don't disappear.
Right. I don't look at this and I don't think Slender Man. I think weird experiment. I actually think of something that my one of my buddies, film buddies, actually just some weird, surreal, just throw a bunch of crap together and call it something.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that Slender Man,
especially since we never really see Slender Man, at least as we know him. We see some vague silhouette of a thin guy, but we don't see the faceless, tall, thin, suit wearing.
Yeah.
Well, Slender Man never wore a hat.
No, that was Hat Man.
Yeah, that was Hat Man. This is Slender Man.
Totally different.
Slender Man had a bald head. That's right. He had a bald
head. And he also had like tentacles that come out your back, and I've seen enough hentai to know where that was going.
Well, moving right along from the Slender Man to this other crap storm, truth or dare. Now look, I have sat around in some basements and gotten drunk with some people and played truth or dare quite a few times throughout my life that I probably wished I hadn't, because when I'm drunk, I don't give a fuck. But these people, wow, these people don't have a choice but to tell the truth or dare. And if you better tell the truth, or you better do the dare, or you die. Wow.
Yeah, this is kind of like somebody saw both It Follows and like, okay, we need to do something where there's this thing that follows people around and kills teenagers. And then they saw one of those weird trailers.
Destination Truth combined with, or not Destination Truth.
Yeah, Destination, the Final Destination.
Final Destination movies crossed over with the Truth or Dare game.
Right.
Right.
And throw in some guy using Photoshop that's just making somebody's face go like, oh.
Yeah, hi, son. I look you look like clown.
It really doesn't really work when since we can't see us. But they make these weird, stupid Photoshop smiley faces that are supposed to look creepy.
Like this thing over here in the corner with the blue. I think that's one of the faces there.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, except less decayed.
Yeah, a little less decayed. Kind of creepy like that. So there was Truth or Dare. But this one I'm kind of interested in. The Winchester.
Yeah,
it's about the haunting of the Winchester widow. Who continued to work on her home because the ghost demanded it of her, of all of the people that were killed with her husband's designed weapons.
Yeah, this was actually something I was thinking. It was like something like a period piece, kind of like The Witch. Meets I was kind of getting some Insidious vibes off of this.
It's got really good actors in it, so it's not a B-class movie. This is going to be a feature release. Jason Clarke, Helen Mirren, Sarah Snook.
Right,
you know,
isn't Jason Clarke the one that was in what was the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
yes, that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy that was working on the dam in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that guy,
That
Koba
guy.
was just like, I really don't like your face.
I don't like your face.
Get
You
a
better
new
do
one.
something or I'm going to chew it off. Jackass.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
know,
I'm a freaking monkey.
'cause I'm an ape. Don't call me a monkey.
I'm not a monkey. I'm a woman.
I'm a woman. That's right.
In the immortal words of Mr. Garrison.
The Mr. Garrison. Oh, shut your fucking face, Uncle Puckers. Okay. Hey Cole, what you
Hey, what?
watching? What you been watching, man?
I've been watching all sorts of shit.
Okay. Well,
Freaking Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. One where the critics like it
I've been
more than
getting
the audience does.
goosebumps. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I actually definitely. If you're coming into it expecting like a very scary movie, you're not gonna get that. Just if you grew up with the Goosebumps books and TV show, you should know what you're getting. And this is basic.
Look, you got a ventriloquist doll. That's creepy enough for me, man. Okay.
You got a ventriloquist doll that is also voiced by Jack Black.
Right. I mean, it's just I used to be a video arcade hanger oner type of dude. I love to play pinball. And in these video arcades, in the pinball arcades, there was this game called Funhouse. Damn it, I just drew a blank for a moment. But Funhouse was literally had a ventriloquist doll at the center of it that you could smack with steel balls in the face and the eyes and the nose and make him swallow stuff with it. And I swear it was voiced by Jack Black. It wasn't, because it was way too old for that. But
Yeah, it was. I think that was before Jack Black's time, but at least you can get that in this movie. And it's on Netflix, guys.
loved playing Funhouse for the reason that you could smack the shit out of that ventriloquist face.
Anyways, if you liked the Goosebumps cartoon, or not cartoon, that never was a cartoon.
No, it should not have been.
that was a live action show, kiddies. Especially if you like that, you would love this movie.
It's a love letter to basically all the Goosebumps.
Exactly. And it wasn't bad at all. I actually watched it and enjoyed it. It was pretty decent.
There was
Showed
some
it-
hokey shit, but
What? It was gnomes. I mean, come on. Anytime there's fucking gnomes involved, there's hokey shit. So,
right.
dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. She's not a real
decided to
redhead. It's
open-
disturbing.
Hey. Fake redheads need love too.
Well, they do, but why does she have to fake it?
I don't know. And
Yeah.
I actually was
She's
not
appropriating your redhead culture, man.
Hey, you shut your face.
She's appropriating ginger culture. I don't think
Shut your face about my
all of
celebrity
you women
crush.
who dye your hair out there have to dye it back to your normal natural color. You can't appropriate other people's culture. You want to be a Viking, you want to be a blonde, but your hair's black as hell. I'm sorry. You don't get to appropriate other people's cultures. All you women out there to dye your hair,
The
you
thoughts
bring it back to
and
normal.
philosophies of what you watching do not exactly agree with what Rev says and is spouting when we are supposed to be talking about what we were watching. But I actually wasn't watching the premiere of the new season since I am not quite caught up. So I've been trying to get caught up with all these 10 seasons, now 11 seasons. But I've been loving every moment of this freaking show.
Yeah, I never got into it. I was never a fan. I
Well, shame on you.
I got to be honest with you. I saw the movie, wasn't impressed.
It was actually the movie that got me into the show.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with the movie. There might have been a couple of Bigfoot episodes, or
No, there actually wasn't. The closest they ever got was with a Jersey Devil episode, which the Jersey Devil wasn't even the Jersey Devil. It was just some feral person.
UFO things just have never been my subject of study yet. Maybe that's what I'm going to do in retirement. I don't know. Once we solve this Bigfoot thing, but Yeah, dude, I just never been a big fan. I'm not saying it's a bad show.
Here's a cross plug for if you like Bigfoot, go to the Squatchers Lounge podcast hosted by the Reverend Jeff Kelly.
That's right, the Squatchers Lounge podcast, S Lounge podcast /YouTube. That's right. Anyhow,
Shameless plugging aside.
right. Well, hey, man,
You're welcome. I expect my check in the mail.
yeah. Well, we're not getting paid for this show till we get 10,000 views, and at this rate, it might take another year.
It's okay. You're getting paid for the Squatchers Lounge.
Yeah, not much. God, YouTube sucks a bunch of dong, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, I like I said, I know a lot of people dig this show. He's what bugs me.
What?
David Duchovny is literally like the Bill Maher for me. Bill Maher has a face, but he better fucking fix it or I'm gonna eat it off because I'm an ape.
You watch your heathen tongue.
Yeah, well, David Duchovny just reminds me of the same kind of whatever attitude. I just don't like him.
And I love the shit out of him. And freaking Scully is my celebrity crush, so you shut the fuck up.
No, she's cuter to hell, but she needs to grow her hair back. She's not allowed to appropriate ginger culture.
Okay, that's it. We're done here. We're done. I'm done with your stupid face.
And then
I'm gonna shoot your fucking face off after I watch the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars. Now, I like the animation in this one. I've never sat down and gotten through the series. I should do that. I know that. I know that it is part of like the galaxies that we're living in. I understand that. Doesn't really have anything to do with the trilogy setups of the movies, but the anyhow.
Actually, I think it does because you can pretty much substitute episode 1 and 2 for this.
I mean, I remember there was like a ship in one of the movies that ended up coming from the Clone Wars. I'm not an Anakin Skywalker line fan. And that's the problem.
That's the thing. That's why I say you can substitute episode 1 and 2 for this series, because this series actually makes you like Anakin a little better. He does a lot more chosen one things.
Right.
He's a lot more likable, and he's not like, I hate sand.
I hate
it's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. Plus, this is a series that brought back Darth Maul, so
yeah,
you're welcome.
Like I said, I know that I do need to eventually add this into my Star Wars collective knowledge in my brain, but
besides, it's on Netflix, so you have no excuse.
Haven't quite done it yet. 89%. The critics never rated it. They were just like, whatever.
It's TV. It's beneath us. Fuck you.
It's kids show stuff. Who wants to watch that?
Yeah, it's a kids show where people get impaled and blown up and brutalized all the time.
It's kind of like,
seriously, this is like freaking edgy shit for like a TV show.
It's like comic book porn. You know, I don't really know how I feel about that stuff either. Naked, hardcore women in comic books. I just don't think the two should really meld all that well, but apparently.
Okay, so we went from talking about Star Wars, the Clone Wars, to talking about naked chicks. Rev, you really need to focus here. Come on, keep your head in the game.
Dixon Holes with Reverend Cole, Sunday nights, midnight.
Yes, that will be coming soon to a TV near you. Maybe, I don't know. But hey, Rev.
Yeah, man.
Since we're having a tough time keeping on track.
Yeah.
What you been watching?
Well, I've been watching amazing things. Like John Spartan trying to figure out how to wipe his ass with 3 she shells. Yes, that's right. The Demolition Man from 1993. I was not available when this movie first came out. I didn't get to see it until a few years later when I came home. But believe me, wow, was I just, even on video for the first time instead of seeing it on the big screen. Demolition Man's kick-ass movie. A utopian future after giant earthquakes and disease riddle an apocalyptic America. The Cocteau system takes over. And, well, you always bet on black because Wesley Snipes shows up to screw up the mess.
And this guy doesn't know how to use a three she shells.
Do you know how to use the 3 she shells? Because I figured it out.
Of course.
Now, well, do you? Okay, what's your explanation of how to use the 3 she shells?
I don't want to ruin it for the audience.
Right. So you have absolutely no clue.
I do. I just don't want to ruin it for the audience.
Take 2 of the seashells like chopsticks and pinch off any that's left over. And then take the last clean one and run it up your crack like a freaking spatula to get any of the remnants left over. I just want to know if they're recycling the seashells.
Obviously, there's a seashell recycling unit.
Are they recycling the seashells or are they using new ones? I don't know. It's kind of creepy.
That would just be wasteful.
But that's how you do it. You pinch it off like a taco and scrape it like a spatula. And that's how you use the 3 seashells. All right. Austin Powers in It's Gold, It's Gold, It's Gold, It's Gold, baby, it's gold. I'm from Holland. Isn't that weird?
I like to get the gold.
Would you like a smoke and a pancake? A blintz and a blunt? A bong and a blintz? But then there is no pleasing you, Mr. Powers. Michael Caine is hysterical. Is that Beyonce? No. Maybe. Yes, that is Beyonce. Hysterical with the giant afro that never gets wet. Like she shakes her hand and dries like a poodle. It's hysterical. Audience didn't like this one. I like this one better than the first 2, to be honest with you. I think they really kind of had it together by the time they finished Goldmember, but apparently the critics and everybody else say I get to jerk off with 2 other guys in the room to Halloween 3 instead. Nobody wants to watch this piece of crap.
Sorry, I was too busy not watching this piece of crap.
Right, exactly.
Just kidding. I had to watch this piece of crap.
Yeah, I love this movie. Anyhow,
I don't.
Then I wrapped it all up with a menage a trois. People paying extra for that, Cotton. Dodgeball.
Isn't this the movie where somebody's head goes up some fat girl's ass?
Yeah, well, not up her ass, but yeah, Justin Long. He tries out for the cheerleading team, and they gave him 300-pounder double zero. Martha, holy crap! I ain't got no panties on. Oh, and she slips, and oh yeah.
Oh my!
He learns a lot about smelly women, all in one moment. There is a unrated version of this movie that you should seek out that is far better than any of the theatrical or what's on TV release. Matter of fact, in the background right now, it's actually what's on running again. Ben Stiller is hysterical in this movie. Just everybody that's in this movie is just fantastic. But my God, what happened to friggin' Rip Torn? Like right after this movie, he and his wife moved into a Canadian hotel. Oh, no, that's not Rip Torn, but not in the beginning.
Torn was the guy who was in Men in Black.
Yes. I was thinking of the guy that was in Independence Day. Friggin' Randy Quaid, him and his old lady shacked up in a friggin' Canadian hotel for like 5 months and then didn't pay the bill or some crazy crap. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I was watching. So
I still have yet to this day to watch this movie in its entirety.
Yeah, but the commentary that goes on during the actual dodgeball match between the announcers is just amazing comedy. It really well crazily written. All right, speaking of crazily written, here on the NPR edition of Whatcha Watchin, it's time to check out who our friends in the chat room are. That's right.
All 2 of them.
We're going to be on the air for the next 23 and a half hours until we raise exactly $16.42. That's right. We're here to raise $16.42, and we'll continue to broadcast on this edition of the NPR Whatcha Watchin until we raise $16.
If we make $1 by midnight. I will strip for you.
Now, if we make more than $16.42 before the end of the program, then we don't have to continue. So if you'd like for us to shut the fuck up, just please go out and deposit $16.42 via PayPal in keljeffinc@gmail.com. Okay, let's see who's out in Friends of the Chat Room right now. Dean. Cooper. That's right.
Fuck you, Dean. Fuck you, Dean. Fuck you, Dean.
Life and Times of JCM. That's right. That crazy guy. I'm going to shave you.
Hello.
Jevin. I'm going to shave you, Jevin. Oh my goodness.
And if you don't know what that means, check out the last episode of the Squatchers Lounge. At the time this show is airing, that would have been our what was that? The year in review.
Yeah, the year in review show
episode.
And there's a kid
for 2007.
How you doing out there, Ken?
Jeff, you got that on the very bottom of your beard.
Okay, let me see here. All right, there we go.
Maybe you could use that as like beard balm.
Beard balm. That's right. Beard.
Yeah, beard balm. Beard balm.
Rodney Dupree, I know he's out there because he's always
in the place to be.
We'll give a big shout out to Kurt, man. I know you're in a hospital, buddy, and I hope you're really feeling a lot better than you were. We're all here pulling for you. If you need anything, you send me a message.
We hope you make a great recovery, Kurt. We love you, and we appreciate that you're always out there.
That's right. We very much appreciate it. Cassie and Christopher, of course, are always out there checking out our stuff.
And we appreciate it when Christopher eats his vegetables.
Yeah, you got to eat a little more of the potatoes, man. Some corn, some green beans. They're good for you. They're tasty, too. Just put some pepper on the green beans, man. Don't put salt on it. Put pepper on it.
Don't eat broccoli, though. They scream.
Yeah, broccoli screams when you cut into it, I swear. Alrighty then. No, there we have it. That's who's hanging out there in the live chat room with us. We're here 8 p.m. Saturday nights, sometimes Tuesday nights. I don't know. We have a Facebook page at Watchin Vids. All one word. Put it in the search bar. Bam! You go right to our page. It's like magic.
We're always looking for people that post to us and share what they're watching with us.
That's right. We want to know what you're watching. What do you watch?
We're coming for you. We're going to watch what you're watching.
We want to see what you're watching. That's right.
Oh, yes. Oh. Except for if it's at late night, and we know that happens at late nights.
Gnome porn. I don't exactly know what gnome porn is, but apparently it's popular these days. Speaking of things that are popular, if you have not seen The Last Jedi, we don't care.
This is the spoiler section.
Yeah,
hear me? Spoilers!
If you don't want to know what happens in The Last Jedi, then stop watching this show right now. You're not a fan. It's been out for a month. So if you haven't been able to get tickets in
us for spoiling a movie that's been out for a month, I got a special tune just for you.
Yeah,
well, suck a dick, suck a big fat dick, suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a big fat dick, suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a big fat dick.
A big part of the movie was spoiled for me when a friend of mine posted simply, "Yoda's a puppet again," and it infuriated me. It absolutely infuriated me because it was opening day. I mean, it wasn't even like 3 or 4. No, it was opening fucking day. And he posts, "Oh my God, Yoda's a puppet again." Yeah, well, fuck you too. Okay, I didn't even know Yoda was in the movie, asshole. And guess what? I saw the movie opening day. I saw the movie at 5:30 in the afternoon opening fucking day. And you ruined the fact that Yoda was in the movie for me. That's some fucking bullshit to do to somebody.
Right. That's why I try to keep clear of the fucking internet when there's a movie like this that I need to see, because the same thing happened to me to a greater degree on The Force Awakens, where I was watching a video on somebody's review and it got to the point where they were spoiling. They're like, and they were a dick about it, and they're like, "All right, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, Han dies."
Yeah, that's some fuck you too, right?
And yeah, but should we now get into what this movie is about.
Well, we absolutely should. Take away your synopsis. Give us your overview of what the last
Luke's the last Jedi in the story.
No, just kidding. Basically, this picks up right at the beginning or at the end of The Force Awakens. Freaking Starkiller Base has just been blown up. The Resistance is now on the run. You think that they would have a moment to have a celebration party, but no, the First Orders are all like, oh yeah, you want to fucking blow up our big toy? Well, we're going to come back at you with our big fuck you laser cannon. So we open up with this great big brain fart. Basically, we get to see Rey's training with Luke. We get some pointless plot with freaking Finn and
No. You skipped over a giant important plot point that you.
I'm summarizing the movie before we get into the details.
Yeah, but you didn't even talk about the friggin' opening battle where they lost their entire fucking fleet. I mean, that came long before any of the other things you were about to mention. I mean, they lost all their.
Go into fucking doing the plot then.
You don't really. You're going to play that and pull that cord. I just wanted to make sure that before you go off on those tangents that we cover it all. I mean, it always starts out with doom and gloom in these movies. That they're always a Greek freaking tragedy, and to lose your entire bombing crew. I don't understand how that happened because Poe doesn't have the ordership to send them.
Well, somebody found another plot hole in this movie.
Another plot hole in the movie.
And this is coming from the guy who actually liked it.
Oh, I love this movie. I want everybody to know that. I'm coming from a 150% stance of I loved this movie. It was everything it was supposed to be. I am not disappointed in a single thing in this movie.
All right, so take 2 of summarizing it. So we open up with basically a big space battle where Poe's basically all like goes in there, guns blazing. They're like, we need to take out this dreadnought. We have one chance, okay, guys? One.
All it takes is one chance.
And basically, Leia's like, don't do it. And Poe's like, I'm going to do it. And so he goes in there. And Leia's like, fine, send out the bombers, which, why?
She agreed. I don't know why they blamed that on Poe. She sent the bombers out.
I don't care how good of a pilot you say is. When you're disobeying an order, you just be like, fuck them?
Yeah.
Let them die.
Yeah. That's exactly what you do. You're like, hey, you're out there on your own, fuckhead. We told you to come home. We need to get the hell out of here.
So basically, in the midst of that, we keep cutting back and forth. We keep cupping. Snoke is cupping a feel on people.
You're gonna reach around.
Nah, he just scolds Kylo and be like, "Take off that stupid mask. You look stupid in it."
Yeah, dude, he got cucked right there, boy.
Yeah, Kylo's just like, but I love this mask. I made it myself.
I like this mask. It reminds me of my grandpa.
Yeah, I want to be Darth Vader.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was useful because, like Vader's mask on the inside, I'm sure it had a heads-up display and aiming. There was and infrared shielding. I mean, and enhanced hearing, and
also Vader needed it because he got burnt to a fucking crisp.
He needed to be able to breathe through the bitch. Yeah, that was his.
Right.
But I mean, if I was Kylo Ren and the Chosen One and the dark side Sith of the world, I'd probably want a breathing apparatus to give me the best oxygen intake I could have, no matter where I went and no matter what I did. I mean, I would have. You are the leading gangster in the universe. Yeah, right. I'm gonna have a caddy with air conditioning and heat, and I'm gonna peppermint dispenser over there, and I'm gonna spot over there for my gun. Can y'all handle that? Okay,
and cool. Also, part of me thinks, he doesn't really need it, so why have it? But part of me also thinks, you know what? Sometimes I like him better with the mask on because I don't like looking at his face sometimes.
Yeah, because that dude comes at me and he looks like a punk. I mean, I know he's not like he's a badass, but he looks like
Right.
he looks like Jim Morrison. I mean, he just doesn't look like somebody who's scary
this is
to me.
something we're gonna probably have to get into when we get into the pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, he needs
also-
the mask to be scary.
Right. But also, meanwhile, we cut back with Rey and Luke, where we see her after she's handed him the lightsaber, and we get this meaningful moment where Luke stares down at the lightsaber. No. He just throws that bitch away.
No, thanks. Not interested. Thanks for stopping by, but get the fuck out. Now, my problem is with that whole go away. I don't want anything to do with this.
I want to die.
Yeah, well, if that was the case, then why the fuck are you living at the Jedi Temple? Like, if you didn't want other Jedis to come there and find you and be trained by you, why the fuck are you at the Jedi Temple?
Yeah,
if you don't want anything to do with Jedi.
If you want to die, and since freaking Jedis have a lot of basis in freaking Buddhism and also they do have a bit of a samurai element to them. Why don't they just he doesn't take that lightsaber and goes, lightsaber seppuku or laser sword.
Well, we could talk about the laser sword here in a little bit if you're still butthurt about that.
I'm just gonna sum it up because it's not really. Me and Rev bantered on this last night. I don't hate the line as hate me. I just find it a very jarring line. Just as much as I found it jarring when Anakin said it in the freaking episode 1.
Episode 1. I saw your laser sword. Only a Jedi carries that kind of weapon. Maybe I killed a Jedi and took it from him. Nobody can kill a Jedi. Only if that were true. I mean,
basically, I sum it up the way Kevin Smith sums it up in his review of the movie. Laser sword is like discount lightsabers. It's the one that your mom bought you for like $1. That was just a flashlight with a plastic thing on it.
And and that's fine and all, but like I said, they could have called it a phasmic cutlass, and still wouldn't be wrong. A laser sword, my explanation of it was simply a laser sword is exactly what it is. It's a crystallized catalyst laser that's being projected from a handle and somehow reflected back into that handle by some kind of quantum phase generator. Now, I don't know what all that fucking means. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fucking scientist here, but I understand the process of it. That's a laser. It's energy being shot through a crystal creates a laser. That's what it does. Yeah. I don't exactly know what a lightsaber is. The lightsaber is usually a saber is curved, so it doesn't even describe the straight swords that we have. I don't know. So I didn't find
we went at this like every other Star Wars nerd. We'd be here for like fucking 5
another
hours.
20 minutes. Yeah, we were at it another 20 minutes last night. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're here to actually talk about the movie in its entirety, not every little detail.
But yeah, I mean, Chewie looked like he was a young buck, and friggin' Luke was old as hell. Whoever did Chewie's mask was horrible. They didn't. I mean, they really needed to.
Technically, it was executed good, but
it was
in the context.
Yeah, in context, he was not aged anywhere near old enough.
Granted, I get Wookiees live over 500 fucking years because every other alien in the movie has.
That's great, like but he looked older in the Force Awakens than he does in the Last Jedi.
Right.
It looks like he de-aged like 25 years or 50 years or 100 years.
They probably got the performer to get. For the Han Solo movie, they probably just took him when he was done shooting there and brought him over to The Last Jedi. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we know. Probably. We know better than that.
It's a time traveling Chewie.
Right. I mean, you go all the way back to where what was it, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, where we meet Chewie and Yoda in.
3.
Is it 3?
3.
In Kashyyyk or Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk. Go to Kashyyyk, I will. Have good reception with the Wookiees, I do.
Good hand jobs they give.
That was another plus of this movie. We got to see Yoda.
Yeah, we definitely got to see Yoda. That was kind of
I didn't
cool.
get it spoiled for me. So
No,
I got chills when I...
Yeah, see, I didn't get the chills. I was like, oh, well, here it comes.
I just remember seeing that when they did that panning shot and you just see him sitting there. I was just sitting there with my roommate, like, dude, Yoda, it's fucking Yoda.
The sea monster milking, I loved it. You know, where he's getting the green milk out the boobie, out of the sea walrus boob. That was hysterical.
And that's another thing people ate.
I thought it was hysterical.
I didn't find it that bad because I was just like, okay, fucking nod to blue milk, but green milk.
Well, let's hope it was at least alcoholic or inebriative.
Probably.
I probably would. For me to drink nasty ass foamy green milk out of a sea walrus titty, yeah, I think it would have to be some kind of.
Yeah, basically, to sum up the Rey and Luke moments, basically the only thing I've noticed that we get are at least 4 things. 1, Luke being kind of a recluse and being like, I don't want to come back. And fine, I'll train you after Chewie tells me what happens to Han. And then freaking R2-D2 pulls a fast one showing the old footage of Leia.
Now, as they're going on through that training, Rey gets called into the temple by the books.
Yes.
And that's when Skywalker finally realizes
5 things then.
That's when Skywalker finally realizes that no matter how much he doesn't want to be a part of this, the Force has brought her to him.
Right.
I mean, why did they send you? Well, because the Force told them to send her. I mean, that's really what happened.
Who are you?
Why are you here?
I'm nobody. You come from nowhere. No one comes from nowhere. I come from Jakku. Okay, that's basically nowhere.
Yeah, it's basically nowhere. Yeah, I mean, that whole line was great, but I'm still trying to figure out between that moment when they're in the temple and Skywalker is in the Falcon talking to R2-D2, how the books ended up on the ship. Did Rey go and steal them and put them on the ship when Skywalker finally said, get the fuck out of here, I'm not coming with you, you need to leave? Or
I think that's probably what happened.
Or did Skywalker put them on the ship when he went to talk to R2-D2? And when he was having
there was a bit more time between there, because there's also another thing we got out of this was that Kylo and Rey were getting like mind linked through some.
Yeah, they I called that the Voldemort moments. You know, like Harry and Voldemort were connected and could see each other's actions and thoughts.
And at this moment, I realized I am definitely gonna ship Rey and Kylo. Fuck Finn. Rey and Kylo are definitely getting together.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I like that whole manipulation by Snoke. I could see it was going on. I really
right.
It was foreshadowed so hard that if you didn't notice it, you were freaking blind.
There's a lot of things you have to look at in this movie.
There are, and I have a feeling you're right. Like when you first see Luke folding up his Jedi robe, but they show you all the stuff around his room, like Vader's kyber crystal. And
right.
You know, there were other things that they focused on that, like, I didn't know what the hell they were. I should probably, but I had no clue what the freak they were.
Yeah, that was another moment where I was just like, dude, Vader's crystal. That's Vader's kyber crystal. Has to be.
Now the
final thing we got out of this plot before we move on to other plots, porgs, fucking porgs, man. Goddamn.
We got J.J. Abrams with the porgs.
I'd say we got more Jar Jar. Well, actually, no, Ewoked.
We got Ewoked with the porgs.
Because the porgs, I want to cover the porgs because this is another thing people are like getting bitchy about. It's like, who fucking cares?
I mean, it didn't ruin the movie.
The next Jar Jar is like, no, to being the next Jar Jar, they would have to be making poop jokes and stupid shit like that. They would actually be having to try to
contribute.
Right. Then they're not. And you know,
they're just there. They're like the freaking Ewoks from Return of the Jedi.
I have a feeling they're going to end up being like the truffles from Star Trek. You remember the truffles that just kept multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying?
When you say truffles, I think of Tuffles from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, well, I don't watch Dragon Ball Z. What the fuck you're talking about?
And I don't watch Star Trek. I have better things to do in my time.
Yeah, there was only 16 episodes. I mean, fuck, it wasn't that big a deal. Anyhow, so yeah, so we get the whole plot line on the Jedi the Jedi Temple Island, and you know, finally Rey gives up on him. She's just like, all right, asshole, you ain't coming with us. You ain't got no way to leave here because we seen your ship all fucked up.
Yeah, so Luke, I mean Rey tells Yoda, I mean Luke, that there's still good in Vader, and goes to, I mean Kylo, so she goes to face him.
Right.
The
right.
Emperor, I mean Snoke. Before the rebellion, I mean the resistance gets slaughtered by the Empire. I mean First Order.
You know, the whole BB-8. Finn naked, leaking bag. What? Are you okay, buddy?
What? Yeah, because this is where we get Finn's plot line through this movie, if you can even call it that.
You know, since I've seen it now about 7 times, I've actually watched The Last Jedi like 7 times now. The Finn Rose arc has problems.
And yeah, this is the point where
many
people who love it and hate it or hate it, this is where people usually agree, yeah, this is the most pointless part of the movie.
There's a secret mission. There's always a secret mission. It's always some kind of a secret mission.
Because and keep in mind, this whole thing was started because the lady who's kind of taking Leia's place when she goes into Leia coma is like, I have a secret plan. What's a plan? I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
Why?
So Finn, after he gets all cleaned up and everything, decides he's got to go rescue Rey. He's got to get Rey as far away from all this destruction and the First Order and everything else you can imagine. So off she go. He's going to take an escape pod and disappear. And we get introduced to Rose, the most interesting woman in the galaxy. We can call her. Now, Rose, as she says, works behind the pipes in one of the transport ships of the rebellion.
Yes.
Now, she's a maintenance worker. She fixes stuff and keeps people out of the escape pods. She finds you getting into an escape pod, she'll zap your ass and turn you into security.
She'll fade your butthole. That's
her job. Now, we lost her sister in the beginning of the movie. She was a bomber pilot. So sad. So Rose is sad. Rose is in mourning. Rose is sad. Her sister died, and comes Finn.
And she geeks out over seeing Finn.
Yeah. Finn.
He's like, oh my god, Finn, rebellion. You're one of the heroes of the rebellion, even though you joined just 5 days ago. Wow, word gets around fast.
And it just gets to a point to where she is now integral to the plot line of the entire movie. A maintenance worker from the bowels of a transport ship.
Like I said, because that one lady refused to tell us the plan, so they want to be like, oh, we got to figure out a way to sneak into that freaking ship. And because Finn was also both a custodian on Starkiller Base and that particular ship. Yeah, right. He gets around, I guess.
Yeah, Finn, for as young as he is, sure seems to get around the First Order in jobs. Because in the first movie, we learned, I was taken from my family. I never knew, and turned into a stormtrooper. But then we find out he was a custodian on the Starkiller Base because, well, that's how he knew all that stuff.
So they even need to kidnap people to be their janitors.
Right. I guess I'm not really sure. The whole Finn changing evolution of things that he's always in the perfect position to know what they need to know about the First
Basically,
Order
this
is
was
kind
the
of
second part of our rant last night, and I basically came to the conclusion, and this is canon now because I decree it. So, guys, okay, this is what happened to Finn. He was a janitor all along. They didn't have enough stormtroopers that wanted to be janitors, so they kidnapped him as a kid, raised him to be a janitor. One day before the big raid on that village, one stormtrooper calls in sick. Yo, Kylo, I can't make it. I'm a little too sick today. And Kylo's like, fuck, we need somebody to fill in for him. All right, you, janitor, you're a stormtrooper today.
yeah, you're a stormtrooper today.
I don't know how to shoot a weapon. Doesn't matter. And when he looks at Finn during the beginning of The Force Awakens, Finn doesn't have force abilities. Kylo's just looking at him. It's like, see, didn't matter. That's all that was.
Now, because they wouldn't tell Poe what their secret plan was to survive all of this, Poe decides to hatch his own secret plan. Well, obviously, these people who are in charge of shit don't know anything.
They have to call
I'm a pilot. I'm a pilot who follows orders and just really good at what I do. But hell, I'm gonna save the world now.
Yeah, we're gonna be the fire that burns down the First Order. So we're gonna have to call Maz Kanata from the first movie. Which, wait, was it Poe that called her?
Yes, it was Poe that called.
That's one thing I was wondering. Does Poe know her? Because in the last movie, he never really interacted with her. It was Finn. It would make more sense if Finn called her.
Well, maybe it was.
Correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been Finn that called. Well, they were all there. Poe, Finn, and Rose were all there when they were talking to Maz, and they wanted her to be the lockpick, but she was having a mining dispute. You don't want to know about it.
I know this guy over here, and so they go to the freaking Vegas planet.
So they hatch a plan and said, well, we got to go find this guy that Maz says. So Finn, maintenance worker girl, who can now pilot all aircraft and pilot all shuttles and shit, take that shuttle and go to the desert or go to the Vegas planet and find this guy.
Right, and this part, oh boy. So basically when they get there, they park their ship. They go to try to find this guy in the casino.
Wait, no. Wait.
Let's hold that detail for later.
Okay.
We're gonna put that detail and save that for later. Okay, they go to find this person in the casino. They're this close to actually talking to the code breaker, but they get arrested. Why did they get arrested? Because they illegally parked.
Illegal parking. You're under arrest for illegal parking.
There's even illegal parking in a galaxy far, far away. Yay.
Well, when you plant your shit in the middle of the friggin' beach, right out in front of the hotel, yeah, you might draw a little bit of attention to the policeman.
Right. But still,
when there was a jungle right above them that they could have settled in that no one would have ever seen it. No, let's just leave it out.
They were too busy. They were too much of a hurry. I don't know. Fucking Christ. And they have to shoehorn this thing in about, oh, I grew up on this planet, and this is the worst scum in the universe.
Look closer,
people.
Yeah, look closer. Everyone suffers at their hands.
Look at all the slave children. Pretty much, just recut this into one of those Sarah McLachlan.
I will remember you. I will remember me.
Yeah, that's basically what you get out of this plot.
If you send in just $16.42 to kelljeffinc@gmail.com via PayPal, we'll stop talking NPR style crap.
And as an added little fuck you, they don't even get the code breaker they were sent there to get. They get some random asshole that was in the freaking cell with them.
Now, okay,
like, close enough.
If that dude can literally take a tin cup and free himself from a first order jail cell, I'm following him the hell out too. Like, he's got my attention. I'm with that guy for a moment. He's going to get me out of here. Look, he's obviously not DeBron. He needs somebody who can stab somebody in the throat with a pen and get him out of the joint. I'm that guy. You get the doors open, I'll stab people with a pen. That sounds like a fair trade to me.
But I think he already established when they met him, he wasn't really the most loyal guy.
Right, not the most dependable fella. I can agree with that. I would not have trusted him in the way that they did, but this is Star Wars.
Basically, so they take him back to do what they need to do, get into the freaking First Order base, get into this generator. I can't even remember what the point of that was because this whole plotline was so freaking pointless. And this is the moment where we realize kind of why this plotline was there. Because basically they get intercepted and Phasma shows up. It's like, oh, hello, Finn. We've been waiting for you.
Hello, Finn. On
And we realize, oh, this is basically just our MacGuffin so that we could have a Finn
Now,
versus Phasma.
have you noticed that Phasma has been everywhere Finn ends up?
Yeah.
Kind of convenient to have a arch nemesis that way, especially when she's just the commander of a stormtrooper unit. I mean, like, I don't know why. I mean, yeah, she's got silver. Why is she the only one in silver? No one's really kind of
she because in the friggin' books they explain that silver is actually the ship that Palpatine wore because of fucking books. That's why she's special.
Books. That's why she's special. Okay, gotcha. All right. So
you read the books.
So we get the Finn Phasma standoff, where Finn, I guess, finally kills her. Maybe we're not sure.
Which lots of people, while the friggin' rebellion's trying to run away, and we're finally that's the moment where we're actually she finally tells them the plan. It's like, oh yeah, we did have a plan. This was basically a distraction so everybody can get in their escape pods and escape to the nearest planet. And Poe's like, oh, that was actually kind of smart.
Right. Yeah. I wasted a whole bunch of freaking
why couldn't you tell me?
Right. Well, that was look, this is one of the moments where I say the opinions of the hosts of What You're Watching may not be the actual opinions or cares of What You're Watching itself. I was I'm getting really kind of sick of being punched in the face with the whole strong female lead of everything. Even since the beginning of The Force Awakens, we get the female hero. I'm all right with that. Cool. I love female heroes. Maz, whatever the hell her name is. You know, now she's in charge of that. Everything's Leia's in charge of the rebellion. When Leia goes down, it's this Lauren Hutton's character, which I don't even know her freaking name. That's how. Or Dern, I don't even know her name. That's how unimportant she really became. But she was a woman in charge. Then Rose is in charge, and Rose is making decisions. It's all this. Okay, we get it. Women make decisions too.
If I may interject, this is my take on basically Rev's same argument that I think is a better way to kind of explain it. We don't, because you kind of, just to be fair, you did put it a little more bluntly.
Why beat around a bush?
The better. Well, there's the actual and a better in-depth way is that it's lazily written.
Oh yeah,
female leads. It would be the same thing with a lead male if they're poorly written.
I mean, General Akbar he went out like a bitch. He went out like the Fett. I mean, no. I mean, General Akbar should have definitely been the one who would have survived and preceded.
Really? Why didn't we just have Akbar stick around, be Laura Dern's character, and he'd be the one? Which, to be fair, she does get one of the most epic scenes where she turns the ship around and hyper speeds through the whole First Order.
Yeah, that's.
I swear to God.
No, that wasn't the whole First Order.
No, I want that framed in my room. I want that exact shot framed in my room.
That'd be very cool, yeah. But it wasn't the whole First Order, though. That's what I don't understand. There was only a few ships. That wasn't the whole First Order.
Well,
because after it was over, look at the whole First Order that came down to the friggin' planet that they tried to escape to. Oh, by the way, Benicio del Toro fucked everyone when he gave away.
Yeah, he betrayed him with his freaking Roger Rabbit impersonation.
I don't know why they made him a stutterer. Kind of like why they made Samuel L. Jackson with a lisp in the original Kingsman movie. I didn't understand why that was necessary either, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But basically, at least after that, we get one of the coolest parts of the movie where Rey goes to confront Kylo and Snoke. And
yeah,
this is where a lot of the controversy comes in.
Yeah.
And why I chose the tagline I chose for this episode.
Yeah.
So basically,
because Snoke
up to that moment, it's basically like the Return of the Jedi moment with the freaking Emperor being Snoke's being like, oh yes, I told my apprentice that as he grew stronger, his equal in the light will arise, and I thought it was Luke, and blah 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 blah. Look out there as your friends get killed, and doesn't that fill you with hate and all blah blah blah.
Yeah, nothing you can do can save your friends now.
Yeah, see, look, Kylo killer
outside. But the thing is he never tried to turn her.
Yeah.
He's sensed in her that there was no turning her, which means she's stronger in the Force than Luke is. Because the Emperor always felt that he could turn Luke. But let's be fair, even Yoda reminded us in this movie that Luke was never a very good Jedi.
Yeah.
His eyes were always on the horizon. His eyes were always on the future, never on what was in front of his face, here and now. And it was a problem throughout his entire life. And, so for the fanboys and bitches who are out there crying, Luke would have been just the most awesome Jedi in the universe. He would have been amazing if things had gone differently, maybe. But I can see him being a crybaby shutdown when Kylo Ren slaughters, 3/4 of his little baby Jedi and run off with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. But hey, basically what this all scene culminates in is Snoke being a bastard, throwing Rey around like a rag doll with the Force. Then has Kylo be like, okay, Kylo, killer and all that shit. And then Kylo, this is my favorite Kylo moment. As much as I'm split about Kylo as a villain, I gotta admit, this is one of my favorite moments in Star Wars. So basically, he has Rey down, and Kylo's about to kill her. He picks up his lightsaber. He brings it up, and meanwhile, it's intercut with him using the Force to turn Luke's lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, whatever you want to, whoever, the Skywalker
lightsabers now is Rey's lightsaber now. Yeah. She took that bitch and said, "Fuck it, it's mine."
Yeah, it's mine. I'm gonna see how much I can get out of it for Unkar Plut.
Whatever.
Basically uses the Force to turn it while Snoke's reading his mind because he's sitting there stroking his dick about being like, oh, I can see into his mind, Rey. There's no fucking fooling me.
He's gonna cut you in half, bitch.
And he ignites it to kill his real enemy. Oh, that was me.
Yeah,
I'm dead now.
The funny thing is he got cut off at the waist. I mean, that wouldn't really kill you.
Yeah, in Star Wars, we had President's Maul freaking got killed. So all the people that are bitching that they killed Snoke off,
they brought Maul back. They can bring anybody back.
That's right. He was not Darth Plagueis the Wise.
I don't know. He still could be. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, who cares at this point? He's dead.
I honestly, part of me hopes he stays dead. I don't want to see him again. He was never a really interesting villain. If I can go on a tangent for a moment.
For it. If you ain't first, you're last.
This is a lot of the problem with Snoke. He never was interesting. The most interesting thing that came out of him was either in the books, which is the most thing that comes out in any of these Star Wars things nowadays. Because there's like in the books, there's like Palpatine was going out into the Outer Rim to be like, oh, because he felt a presence, which was probably Snoke. Yeah, that's interesting and all. Why don't we get that in the movies? In the movies, all we get is like he's just sitting in a chair and he's like, oh, yes, there's dark side shit happening. Oh, yeah, bring the girl here. Blah, 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 blah.
Now I gotta, part of the Rey got a little bit of training from Skywalker on the island, but not much. I mean,
Right.
she's learned to detect and feel the Force and to follow the Force and let the Force flow through her.
Basically, what her training was, basically Luke giving her a crash course on what the Force is.
Right.
Along with
but now
with her.
Luke, of all people, should have been the first one to go, hey, look, I told you I was going to give you 3 lessons, but I'm going to give you 4. There's this shit called Force lightning, and here's how you deflect and defend against that shit. Because ain't nobody teach me, and it just about killed my dumb ass. No, they still don't teach her. Kylo doesn't know how to fucking defend against it. Nobody teaches these fucking people how to defend against the fucking dark Force lightning. I've been the first thing I'd have been teaching them.
To be fair, seeing how technically stronger in the Force that Snoke is potentially than Palpatine, even if she tried to Force deflect it with her lightsaber, he probably would have just been like, whack, pull that out of her hand, then Force lightning to her ass.
Yeah, but it's still nobody is. I mean, we've never seen any of the good Jedis teach any other good Jedis how to defend against Force lightning when Yoda knew how to do it. Obi-Wan Kenobi knew how to do it. Mace Windu knew how to do it, but yet none of that ever got passed on past that legion of Jedi, and that just doesn't make any sense to me, especially since they're talking to them in their death. You think Obi-Wan would have come to Luke after the fact, after he almost died from the Force lightning?
Well, we've already. I'm sure that's been discussed plenty of times on other levels too, on what they could have told Luke or anybody about anything. Yeah. Like, Luke, why are you kissing your sister?
Yeah. Hey, that's your sister.
Don't make out with your sister.
Don't make out with your sister. It's kind of gross. Second cousins are okay. Sisters, not so much.
No, the thoughts and beliefs of Whatcha Watchin do not agree with what Rev is saying.
No, second cousins you can legally marry.
I don't care. La 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 la. We do not want to know.
All right, so we get that epic scene between Kylo Ren and Rey fighting off whoever those
Red
Force guards. Yeah, whoever the Red Guards are. I still want to know what happened to the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I heard in pre-release rumors that the Red Guards were the Knights of Ren, but I never heard any suggestions to them being the Knights of Ren in the movie.
Me either. There's always been Red Guards to the Emperor of the First Order or whatever.
And so they're just Red Guards that are there to look awesome. And granted, they did more than the Emperor's Red Guards ever did.
Yeah, but they even injured Rey. That's right. He got a slice.
And they almost got hit on Kylo, but Rey helped him out.
Yeah.
And basically, they also at the end of that Force tug of war over the Skywalker lightsaber and basically rip it in half.
Rip it in half. Who comes and I was trying to figure out how the hell Rey would have gotten both halves of it, but apparently it knocked them both out and she came to first.
Yeah.
And instead of killing him, like she probably should have.
But she's still torn. There's still good in him. Blah, 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 blah.
I don't give a damn, bitch. You put a sharp, pointy thing in the back of his neck while he sleeps. That stops the rest of that.
To get to the rest of them first. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So here we are after all of that. We're now on this abandoned planet that has been abandoned long before any of them were born.
And now Kylo has assumed control of the First Order after
Kylo is
choking Hux into submission.
You dare to try and command my army? The Emperor is dead.
This is my favorite part. I'm starting to love Kylo more because he's starting to get less angsty and more. He's slowly becoming more Vader-esque with him now bitch slapping freaking Hux around like a rag doll.
Ragdoll living in the movie.
He actually did what Vader never did and actually overthrew his master.
Right. Very true. Very true. I mean, Vader never did ascend to the top dog slot.
Granted, Vader also had a couple of weaknesses because of his cybernetics.
True. He was mostly machine than man.
Basically, I like to think of it as like Kylo. We're kind of getting what Vader's potential could be through him.
Yeah, we never really saw what Vader was supposed to be until the end of Rogue One, where Vader came charging through the door, cutting down rebels like they were nothing.
Well, I mean, like we're getting it like where if Vader never got burnt on Mustafar and actually lived up to his Force potential, this is probably what we would get.
Dude, yeah, definitely.
Because basically, the thing that we can pretty much surmise from Vader is that the only leg up that Palpatine had over him was the cybernetics, because that's probably pretty weak to Force lightning.
Yeah, and well, I mean, after you kill a bunch of friggin' younglings, I don't think there's much going back after that.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, we're already long here, Chief. We're over an hour already tonight, so let's get this mess wrapped up.
We get probably the best scene in the movie.
The Battle of the Red Sand.
Yes.
Basically, now all of a sudden, Rose, the mechanical maintenance person of the transport ship on the Rebellion cruiser, now understands all ancient weapons, what they're called, ancient vehicles and what they're called, and how they're operated, and gives us a list.
There's going to be another rant incoming soon.
It gives us a list of everything that's available for us to use on the planet to go up against the Fast Order.
Yeah, so basically we get kind of our version of the Hoth scene in friggin' Empire.
So
with
all
these,
of a sudden,
sand runners.
We're landing with 120 people on this planet, and they can't find any pilots other than Rose, the mechanic worker, and Finn, the toilet cleaning, garbage emptying stormtrooper. All of a sudden,
basically the best we got is Poe and his alien buddy,
and they're running around in these ancient sand things that barely move. And the key to the sand planet is, if any, the top of the sand is sand color, is tanned, but anything that moves causes a red dust to flow past it.
Right. And basically the only thing we get out of this moment is an actual arc for Poe, because Poe no longer is going in there guns blazing. He actually tells the people to retreat.
He learned,
Finn doesn't.
Right. Poe actually has a hero circle. He's come full circle from the out of control pilot who just jumps on a plane and blows things up.
Yeah,
to a responsible leader.
Or not Finn. Poe has the best arc out of the whole series, or not series, the movie.
Yes, absolutely. Poe's arc actually returns the full circle. But basically, they're going out to battle against a door opener, a giant thing left over from the Death Star days. It's a giant cannon.
Yeah, basically, Finn, of course, since he is a fucking stormtrooper, knows what this is, and he's actually going to sacrifice himself by running into this thing. But guess what happens? So freaking Rose comes in, rams her ship into his ship to push him out of the way so he doesn't sacrifice himself. He's like, "What the fuck did you do that? I was going to help out." And she was like, "I saved you, dummy. That's the thing. We need to save the things we love, not destroy the things we hate."
Yeah, well,
and at that moment, I was just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If he would have gone through with it, he would have been saving the things he loves by selflessly giving his own life so that people could get out of there. But you, on the other hand, had to be so selfish and push him out of the way because, you have a little fangirl crush on him, which, by the way, you put him and yourself in more danger because he had to drag your unconscious ass all the way across the fucking battlefield, which you're lucky because at this moment, Luke Skywalker comes in and gives his goodbye to Leia, basically being all like, no one's ever really gone. Gives her the dice that was always in Han's Millennium Falcon and goes out to face Kylo Ren.
Goes out to face the whole First Order. Did you expect me to walk out in front of the whole First Order with a light sword and face them all down?
Yes, and that's what happens.
Of course I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
This is another scene where you have to pay very close attention.
That's very true, but the keys were there, and I picked up on them when I watched it. But basically, Kylo freaks out when he sees Skywalker walk out of the bunker.
Everybody fire on him!
And he does. He has all of their weapons concentrate their firepower at the feet of Skywalker, who, after it stops,
it's just like,
yeah, he just kicks off the dust off of his shoulder, fixes his mustache, and invites Kylo to come join him.
And they have a fucking epic standoff.
Oh.
Which at this moment, this is when another thing I realize I actually do like about Kylo. I like his fighting stance because it's a lot different than other people's.
He has a very aggressive stance. Yeah, he's not defending shit.
Yeah, they usually bring their lightsabers up, and in this pose, he always goes. Psh.
Yeah, he's not defending shit. He's ready to attack full the fuck on all at every second. And the secrets were revealed afterwards, but basically after an pretty epic lightsaber battle, which I didn't quite understand how Skywalker's saber was able to interact with Kylo Ren's saber, but whatever.
Actually, I think if I remember right, I never really saw the sabers actually make contact a whole lot.
Enough to know, I guess, maybe not enough to notice what was really going on.
Most of what I remember from that fight was a lot of him dodging Kylo.
Yeah, that's true too. Ducking under him and
until a point where he deactivates his lightsaber, and I was like, "Oh, great! They're gonna pull Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's gonna be like, you may strike me down,' and he's like, you may strike me down, but I'll always be with you, like your father." And then he strikes at him. And Luke's still there, and we're just like,
right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's like, no. And that's when we realize that Luke Skywalker's not actually there.
Right, he's still back on Ahch-To, and that's when all the if you paid attention, you would it finally clicks because when he shows up, he looks younger when both Kylo and Leia would have last saw him. He's in his black Return of the Jedi robes.
Right.
He has hairs,
a darker beard.
Yeah, darker
instead
beard.
Of gray.
He looks a little bit younger. So
and every time he moved on the sand, it never turned red.
Yeah, they never kicked up any dust or salt, as it was.
Whatever the case may be, and Skywalker was just stalling for the rest of them to escape to the Falcon, who has now finally arrived from behind to rescue the absolute last of the rebellion. We got like
the rebellion people. Is reborn today.
Yeah, there's like 8 people. I mean, they went from 20,000 people at the beginning of the movie to like 8.
Right. But as we see from the last shot, the legend of Luke Skywalker is already spreading, thus inciting more rebellion.
Yeah, and see, that is why the Finn and Rose arc isn't quite as useless as people think.
The thing, though. I feel like this was something that I actually saw pointed out, and I was like, okay, I think that's probably what happened. Something happened probably similar to what happened in episode 1 when they shot everything. They got to the editing room, and George Lucas in episode 1, he was like, "Oh crap, we should cut all this, but we can't because it's so tied into the plot." They probably could have gotten to a point where they shot everything and they were like, "Oh crap, this is really pointless, but we can't cut it because." Which honestly, I argue that you could have probably still cut it because we didn't really need to see those kids before. We could have just gotten the impression that this is still spreading across the galaxy when you see a bunch of random kids out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but why would kids would need to be exposed to a rebellion for them to understand what a rebellion is, to want to be part of a rebellion.
I think at that point, all they were talking about was the legend of Luke Skywalker.
Well, no, the first thing she did was show the kid the rebellion symbol on the ring and tell him.
But I mean, get the idea of what they're trying to get across. I think that all we needed to see was just the seed that would lead to more rebellion. Was just seeing that the legend of one guy standing up to the First Order.
Yeah, but that hadn't happened yet. That hadn't happened yet. The Luke Skywalker.
What are you talking about?
Okay, look, during the arc between Finn and Rose, when they go to the Vegas place and they're interacting,
I'm talking about at the final shot with the kid.
Yes, and that kid was from that place with those horse things. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
That setup. I don't really think that was really necessary to have that setup.
I don't understand what you're missing, but anyhow, we're not going to end it on that. So, in the grand scheme of it, when I saw Skywalker basically transform into the Force, my heart broke for like 10 seconds. I was like, oh shit, he's dead. And I was like, no, he's the Force. He's everywhere.
He's a Force ghost now.
Right. He's everywhere. That's exactly how I came down to it. So for like 10 seconds, my childhood was rocked a little bit.
That's another beautiful scene that I really liked out of this movie. Just seeing him looking at the twin suns, I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I would imagine Luke going out.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't need to be the next leader of the rebellion. He just needed to be the hope that sparks the next rebellion. Because this whole trilogy was meant, from what I understand, was to say goodbye to the originals. Han in the first one, Luke in the second one, and Leia in the third one. Well, unfortunately, Leia died. Now we don't really know what the third one's going to bring to us. But in the same token, this
saying goodbye to Chewie.
Well, might be. Who knows? Well, he's supposed to live. Friggin' Yoda was 900 years old when he died.
Yeah.
Looks so good when you are 900, you will not. Which means he trained Jedi for like 820 years.
Yeah. So basically, what do you think your closing thoughts on the movie is?
I think it's a Greek tragedy. I think all the way through it was being set up to end as a Greek tragedy and as a holy shit, where are they going to go next? Kind of just like the end of Empire. Was never a big fan of the Empire movie, the whole movie, but the ending of Empire I very much understood and enjoyed. And that was always a lot of other people's bitches about Empire because it was just like, it just didn't have any fluidity to the end of the government. Well, this did. And they're just.
I don't know anybody that actually complained about Empire. All I hear is like a lot of people like, oh, Empire's the best of the series. Except for you.
I'm just not a fan of
because you like to jerk off to
any of that on Hoth or. And he's still trying to bone his sister. There's just a lot of things that.
Well, at that point, it wasn't really established that she was his sister. Because originally she wasn't supposed to, but
I've always known. Somehow, I've always known.
Technically, you can't fault that in that movie for being set up in the next movie. Because they were just getting lazy.
With that, everybody, I think that's going to conclude it.
Well, I better get my closing thoughts out.
Of course, that's what I'm looking at you, sir. You were mixed on it?
Yes, I was very mixed on it. I'll just sum it up as when the movie shines, it really shines, but it's really held back on the ugly bits that really were unnecessary. And that's basically all I'll sum it up as. Because we're in a toot here.
Yeah, well, no, I agree with you. It definitely had some arc issues. It definitely had some writing issues. But in the end, the major points that took place set up for an interesting third installment.
Basically, it's a very bad good movie.
A very bad good movie. I could agree with that. And with that was where we'll leave our discussion. Well, we don't have to keep on the air for another 17 hours and 18 minutes. We've reached our $6.42 goal, $16.42 goal. Thank you very much for all of your donations. If you'd like to donate further, killjeffinc@gmail.com. NPR donations are always welcome here at Whatcha Watchin, and they get put directly in our pockets. So From my boy Collier Wilmus, Reno, and the Rev, checking their Snapchat ball shots. We're here. We're not going anywhere. We'll be back next week.